Hello Wheel Masters, and welcome to Mastering the Wheel. In today's video, of course, we're going to be playing some roulette, but I'm going to be showing you guys just how powerful my program BetMaster is and how I use this when I'm selecting roulette strategies that I want to test. And today we're going to be testing a roulette strategy that I found on YouTube, and I'm going to show you guys the process that I go through, which helps me decide whether I want to spend real money on this strategy or not. Now, this video was inspired by one of my subscribers who the other day asked me, why aren't you betting with real money? And if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that I've been using the BetMaster program's Play Money feature. And I find this a huge advantage when it comes to testing strategies at the live wheel without actually putting money at risk. And so this is a very unique feature when it comes to roulette tools. There's nothing else on the internet that can do this. And so that's why I've been using my Play Money feature and not betting with real money, because I really want to get the word out there, show people how I can do this, how you can do this when you finally will have access to the program. And if you watched my last video, you'll know that this program is being released to the public on March 6th, Friday, March 6th at midnight. So Friday at 0000 hours, there's going to be a video released that's going to give you guys the website where you can find the program and some basic information on how to get started. And when you get to the website, there's a whole suite of tutorials that'll help guide you through how to get everything set up. So that said, guys, today I'm going to be showing you the power of BetMaster and how I find strategies and test them to see if I actually want to play with real money. So let's get that started now. But before we do, if you guys don't mind hitting that subscribe button and the like button, it does help out the channel a great deal, and I very much appreciate it. So thank you for that. Now, let's get into the video. So here's my program BetMaster right here, and what we're going to be doing is building a strategy that I found. So I was on the Roulette Masters channel this morning, and I picked a strategy, and the strategy that I chose is called 3-3-3. Now this is a 9-street strategy, and wheel coverage builds over time. So I'm going to show you how we can, find strategies like this, build them directly into the BetMaster's progression builder, and then we can use some of the math that BetMaster offers to analyze the risk of a strategy. And my program even has a random number generator built right into it so that you can assess mathematically the risk of a strategy, how it will actually perform. So I'm going to also be featuring that today. You guys have never seen that on this channel before, so that'll be something new for you to check out. So make sure you watch right to the end, because there's all kinds of information in this video on how I use BetMaster and its real power. Okay. So let's start building that strategy. So I'm going to go over here into the bets tab, and we're going to go create, and we're going to call the strategy 3-3-3. Just like that. And when it comes to stop loss and stop win, we're going to put those numbers in after the strategy is built, because we're going to get our numbers from building the strategy. So we'll just leave that blank for now and go into progression levels. And by default, it starts off on streets. So we're going to go in and edit that right now. Now, we can bet on any wheel sector we choose to, but again, we're doing streets today. And this strategy starts off by betting on 3 streets. So we're going to put 3 in quantity, and I'm going to leave this set to hottest. Now, when it comes to selection type, there's all of these options you can choose from. You can select the, where in the position of heat you want. Or we can do coldest, random selection, specific. You can even have it balanced, long distance hit, last one-day hit, or repeat last bet. So again, we're going to leave it on hottest. If you've been watching my channel, you'll know that I like to bet where the ball is landing. My philosophy is if roulette is random and it really doesn't matter where you place your bets, whether it's hottest or random or whatever, then why not just place your bets where the ball is landing, especially at a live dealer? Because if there is a bias at the live dealer, which there is potential for bias when it comes to a mechanical wheel and a live dealer, then why not bet where the ball is landing and capitalize on the bias, right? So that's my philosophy. So we're going to be betting on the hottest. Now, that said, the next condition we have to set is right up here. It says all groups are independent. So we don't want that. We don't want the streets to operate independently. When a street wins, we want the whole progression to reset back to level 1. So I'm going to change that to any group wins. And then When win, we're going to reset to level 1 or stay here. And if we lose, we're going to go to the next level. So level 1 is set, and I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then next, I'm going to copy that level so we don't have many edits to make in the next one. And one thing about level 2, all we're going to change is the coverage. We're going to change that to 6 streets now. So we'll be betting on the 6 hottest streets for level 2. And oh, I just realized one thing I forgot to change in level 1, so we're going to go back to do that. On the Roulette Masters channel, he had started with a $5 unit. I'm going to scale it right down, and we're going to be betting with $1 units for this. So, you know, smaller bankrolls can get into this, and you can even use, you know, a 10-cent unit if you want, and that will bring down the bankroll even more. With $1 units, the bankroll for this is going to be $279. Okay, so we'll leave that at $1, and I'm just going to go back to level 1. Everything else here can stay the same. Reset to level 1 on a win and move to the next level on a loss. And I'll just go over here to level 1, and we're going to change that to $1. Okay, now we're all set for that. And I'm going to copy the last level again. And so this time on level 3, we're going to change the quantity to 9 streets. So increasing wheel coverage again, and we're going to be adding another unit to each of those. So we're doubling the bet on level 3. And another thing about level 3 is we need multiple wins in order for a full recovery. So we can do that a couple of ways. We can set this wins required for level. Oh, excuse me 1 second. I have to bring the page back to life. Inactivity pause. So we can put 2 down here because we're going to require 2 wins at this level for a full recovery. Or down here on the when win condition, we can change this to reset to level 1 at new session high. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to set this to that. So at a new session high, it'll just go back to level 1. And then everything else can stay the same. And then I'm going to copy that level again, and we're going to, so the streets now stay the same. All we're going to be doing is doubling the bet. So going to go to 4 units per street now. So it'll be a $4 bet on each street, and everything else can stay the same. And then we're going to copy that level. And once again, just double the bet and save that level. And then finally, level 6 is going to be the last level. And so this is going to be 16 units on each street, so a $16 bet. And when it comes to the when-lose condition, we want it to stop betting if it fails here. If we didn't change this, it would just go back to level 1 and continue betting with level 1 bets. We don't want that. So I'm going to change this to stop placing bets. So if it fails at level 6, it'll just stop. And now that we've got the progression built, we can go ahead and save this. And we'll save the whole profile. And now here's where we can get our numbers. We're going to go into the Edit tab or Edit button and go to Preview Risk Analysis. And in this window right here, we can see that the cumulative loss will be $279. So that's going to be the bankroll required. So let's go back into the, oh, sorry, I could have done that right from here, into the general settings. And we're going to change that to $279. And we're going to set our financial target to 10% of the risk amount. So it'll be $27. Let's just round it up to $30. And we're going to set the bankroll also to $279. Now, when it comes to the stop win at $30, I don't make this my hard target. It's kind of a soft target. It's where I would like to get, but what I really like to do is analyze the risk of the progression, and that's what my program can do. And what I mean by that is every event in roulette has a probability of failing and of success, and understanding that probability can give you the window that you need to stay within so that you know when to leave before the math catches up to you and the probability of you losing increases, okay? So just like red and black have a probability of appearing 48.6% of the time, or 3 or 4 or 5 in a row or 10 in a row of the same color have a probability of happening, every roulette system has a probability of failing. So we're going to go and check that out right now. So I'm going to save what we've done here, and then we're going to go into the risk button. And under win probabilities, this is where we're going to get our number. And before we look at the number, I need to explain something that this risk, what it assesses is the amount of attempts that we have in our progression and the amount of wheel coverage that we have. Now, in the progression that we're analyzing right now, the wheel coverage expands. So the formula does not take that into account. And another thing that it doesn't take into account is that we have to stay at levels for multiple spins in order for a full recovery. That increases our exposure, which also increases our risk. So the formula also does not take that into account. So the number I'm going to show you is right over here. Now it's telling us that the expected total of spins before ruin is 1103. Now I know that number is inflated because of the factors that I just told you. It does not consider, expanding board coverage, and it does not consider how many times we have to stay at a particular level in order for a recovery. It just considers two metrics: how many attempts, what the maximum wheel coverage is. So in this case, it's considering 27 numbers, 9 streets, 6 attempts. Okay. So that said, we have to kind of do some of our own thinking and say, okay, this is kind of a guide. The formula works best with straightforward progressions like 18 numbers, 7 attempts. The risk is 216 spins. Okay, that's a solid number, and you can go on that. And I like to take 20% of this number to say, okay, that's going to be my window. This is how long I'm going to stay at the table for. In this case, that would be 200 spins. We're not going to stay here for 200 spins. So let's say we break this down. We're going to diminish this down to like 2.5%, maybe 5%. So let's just give ourselves a range of like 25 to 50 spins, okay? So I would say maybe closer to 30 spins. You saw or you're about to see in the next phase of this assessment that we're going to be winning on average every 30 spins or so, and I'm going to get into that in just a second. Okay, so now we've got our spin target. We'll just call it around 30 spins. I'm going to close this. And now, as I said earlier, my program has a random number generator built into it, and we're going to test the progression at my random number generator. So this is just mathematical. Okay, so if I go into test and I said that, okay, we're going to take, say, 50 spins. Let's see what happens if we run this progression over 50 spins. Now, it's just going to calculate everything about the progression, and it's going to give us an output and a detailed analysis. Okay, so we can see here that we made our $30 stop win or profit win, and our maximum loss reached was $75. It did reach the maximum level of level 6 of the progression, and it did all of this in 23 spins. So under 30 spins, okay? And we managed to make our stop win. And it breaks down all of the elements of, the details that happened throughout the simulation. Now, we can go ahead and run this again and see what happens. And this just gives us a mathematical idea of how our progression is going to perform. Okay, so once again, we won. This time, we only reached maximum level of our progression, level 3. And we ended up making our winnings in 8 spins. So not bad. Okay, so this was a good one, and we actually had a very high win rate this time, 71.4%. Let's run this one more time and see what happens. Okay, so this time we ended up with a $33 win, a little bit higher than the profit target, probably because of how the amount it won at the last level that it won at, and it went to level 4, and we did this in 19 spins. So this can give you an idea of roughly how many spins you should stay at the wheel to meet your target, right? So I think that 30 spins is probably a comfortable number, so we'll go by that. And I could run this one more time. I'm actually hoping that it's going to show a loss, because systems do lose, and this system will lose. But it showed a win again. Okay, so again, random number generator, right? So anyway, this is the result it gave us for that 4th time in a row. Maximum level reached 4. We ended up reaching our stop win at 15 spins. So not bad. Okay, now let's take this system right to the real wheel and test it and see how it performs. And let's decide if we would actually spend real money on this system. All right, so I'm sorry it's taken so long to get to this point, guys, but I feel that there's so much information. I don't want to rush it. I really want to explain things and show you guys how this system works, how this program works. It's not just a gimmick. This is a real solid roulette tool that can give you a huge advantage when it comes to playing roulette. Okay, and one last thing we have to set up is the play money. As you know, we are doing a simulation, so this is where this takes place right here. I'm going to click on that button, and as you see, my screen got just a little bit darker, and that's because an overlay has been placed on my screen, which is going to prevent my cursor from placing actual bets on the table. And finally, I'm going to have to come over here and we're going to input some history. Now, as I said, we are going to be placing bets on the hottest parts of the wheel. So I need to get some history from the roulette, from the casino. So this is the history here, and what I'm going to do is input the history. So we're going to take a picture of this, just like that. And I'm going to save this to my BetMaster folder. And now I'm going to start data collection. And then we're going to add the spin results. So I'm going to import from the screenshot, go into my BetMaster data folder, and here's the image I just took. So I'm going to open it. And detected 88 spins. So that's correct. I know that there's 88 spins there. So I'm going to import all. And now you'll see my whole history just populated with all of the numbers. Now, the last number is 13. You can see that here, but we don't have the 15. So I'm just going to insert that manually because that wasn't part of the picture. And now we have everything. So I can go ahead and change this back to that and move this over. Okay, now we are set to go. I just have to select streets and filter it by hot so my program knows what the hot streets are. And I'm just going to go ahead and refresh this page one last time before we get started. Okay. Now let's place some bets. I'm going to execute the, or start up the progression. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to give ourselves the bankroll of $279. Oh, I didn't even start up a session. Okay, so sorry guys. There's so much to think about here. As I'm explaining, I forgot that I didn't do certain things. My deepest apologies. $279. And now we are ready to go. Okay. All right. So in order to play like this, we have to set up a session and let the program know that we're going to be placing real bets. And then, of course, it doesn't place the actual real bets because we've got play money mode on. And here we go. So number 4 just came. So as soon as it detects that spin, it's going to place bets on the 3 hottest streets. Okay, so you can see right here in the history window, it's placed $1 on streets 2, 4, and 8. And you can see up here in the streets statistics GUI, 2, 4, and 8 are the hottest streets. You can see that street 8 has appeared 13 times over the last 100 spins. That's what I have the spin sample set to. And right after this bet, I'm going to go over some of the metrics that my program tracks for every bet group. In this case, we're going to be looking at streets. And so number 22 just came up, and that's street 8. So we did hit it. So that's going to be a win. And it's really sweet, obviously, when we hit one of the street on the first level because we make maximum profit there. So we made a $9 profit on that win. Now, if I open this up, you can see that so street 8 has hit 14 times at this percentage rate. The longest it's gone with it being hit is 16 spins, and it was just hit, so 0 spins ago, and it's been hitting on average 1 every 6 spins. So it tracks those metrics for every street. In this case, that's what we're looking at, but it also does it if we were looking at individual numbers, corners, splits, whatever the bet type that you're looking at. So very cool thing about the program. And there you go, guys. It just made that second win. We just hit the 12, which was Street 4, which we also were betting on. So that's 2 wins in a row. Hooray for betting on the hot streets. I find in the long term, overall, it does make a difference. It doesn't always make a difference. Sometimes I'm betting on the hot parts of the wheel and it's just not landing there. But more often than not, it does. I'm sure as you're watching my videos, you probably notice that when I'm betting on the hot streets or hot anything, my win rate is typically higher than it is statistically supposed to be. So pay attention to that. Right over here, we've got wins. 66.7%. So when we finish this progression, we're covering, up to 9 streets. Right now, we haven't even gotten to that yet, and we're already at a 66% win rate. But it's still early. We've only had, 3 spins so far. So let's have this progression play out, and we'll see what happens. Now, we do not have Street 11 covered, so there's another loss. So now we're 2 and 2, so 50% win, 50% loss, and we're going to be going to level 3 now and placing $2 on the 9 hottest streets. Now, I know it did take a little bit of time to get all of this set up, but again, I really wanted to show you guys, how I go through this, the process I go through, and how Betmaster gets set up in order to be able to do this. And this is the process I go through whenever I find a new strategy that I want to test, whether it's something I'm developing on my own or something I find on YouTube. I set it up. Now, of course, it goes a bit faster than I showed today because I had to do a lot of explaining, so that slowed things down. But once you're familiar with the program, it's just like bing bang boom. You know what to do, what to set up, and then you just start executing your bets like we're doing right now. Within a couple of minutes, you usually get up and running. And so now I see we've got $4 bets there. Number 30, that's street. Okay, so we do have street 10 covered, so that's going to be a win. And so now that's one of a couple of wins we're going to need. Now, again, it's not going to reset to level 1 unless we reach a new session high. And when I have that condition set, it's actually equal to or greater than the session high. So if we ended up at $18, then it would reset back to level 1 as well. $18 was our previous session high. And Street 12, we don't have that covered. So now we're going to be moving on to the next level. I believe this is level 5. I'm going to show you how we can check. Right over here in the bets tab, it's going to show us. Yeah, so we're at level 5 of 6 right now. So this is the second last level of the progression. And we do need to get a couple of wins here in order for a full recovery. So let's see what happens. We are betting on 9 streets, so we're a favorite to win. And 21, I can see that that's a cold street. It's blue. That's street 7. And looking at the bets, we do not have that covered. So now, guys, like we're moving into the last level of the progression. So, I'm not liking how this is going. Is this a strategy that I would use real money with? Maybe we just have bad luck right now. I might run the progression 2 or 3 times before I make that decision. In the simulator, it ran 4 times and it showed me 4 consecutive wins. So maybe this is just bad luck. So I would test this a few times using play money mode to see. And that's street 3. You see, so we had a strong start and we ended up with a horrible finish. We just went down, down, and down, and we lost. Now, that wasn't intentional. I was actually hoping to show you guys a win, but, no editing, no nothing. I'm showing you guys real results, what actually happens at the wheel. And this is the result that happened. So this is what I'm going to be putting up. This is what you guys are seeing now. And, that can happen. So is it a great strategy? I personally prefer strategies that have more levels than 6. We could have added more levels to this, but what would happen is your losses obviously are a lot greater. And the problem I have with huge losses is if you do lose at that level, then if you want to try to recover from that, using the same strategy or any other strategy, you really have to win a lot more at whatever strategy you're using to try to recover your losses. So I try to find a balance between how long it'll take me to recover and how big of a loss I'm willing to accept. So that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this content. Sorry we lost, but this is the reality of roulette, and this is how I test strategies. And again, would I use this strategy with real money? Probably not. It's not my favorite type of system. The amount of levels weren't high enough for me. But anyways, this just gives you an idea. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this kind of content, and stay tuned for that video coming on March 6th for the release of Betmaster. You guys are going to have access to it after that, and let me know what you think in the comments. On that note, guys, have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.
You could do it, put your math into it. Spin smart, don't let emotion ruin it. Hot dozen, hot column, yeah, we moving it. Betmaster got the edge, we proving it. You could do it, structure how you play. 10 levels, but we barely hit for the day. Wheel turn, bankroll, elevate. Calculate the moves, now we dominate. I don't chase spins, I define my window. Probability sharp like a switchblade tempo. Wheel still random, yeah, I know that, but I track that data, build a stack off that.